Most amateurs don't ruin their dogs by undertraining, but I'll tell you, if you overtrain, you have a chance of ruining a good dog. After a failed hunt test, or even after you pass a hunt test, but it really wasn't quite perfect, amateurs often respond in the same way. More drills, more pressure, more of everything, and the dog's confidence slowly begins to dwindle. Confidence grows from clarity and success, but not intensity. If your dog starts hesitating, looking back, or losing drive, it's usually not a talent problem. It's pressure.
Overtraining isn't just too much work. It's repeating corrections for small imperfections, drilling the same concept after the dog understands it, and then turning every session into a test. When training feels like constant corrections, confidence erodes. Signs confidence is dropping, you need to watch for slower sends, extra checking back, or overcautious handling, loss of enthusiasm. That's not stubbornness, that's uncertainty. A confident dog moves forward. A confused dog looks back. How to build confidence correctly. Step one, end on success. Stop sessions early. Don't wait for the mistake to happen. Let the dog walk away thinking, I nailed it. Confidence builds from remembered success. So, step two, simplify after failure. After a rough test or rough training session, do not raise pressure. We need to simplify. We need to teach, not test. Make the picture clear again. Clarity rebuilds confidence faster than correction. Step three, train below max capacity. You don't need to push the edge every session. In fact, run drills your dog can win at. Stack small wins. That's how confidence compounds. Step four, protect drive. Drive is fragile under repeated pressure. If enthusiasm drops, you need to back off. And remember, a confident 80% dog often beats a pressured 100% dog. The handler discipline. This is where amateurs grow. You must ask, am I correcting because it matters? Or because I want it to look perfect? Perfection obsession creates cautious dogs. Confidence creates successful dogs. Here's the reset. If your dog feels slightly unsure right now, you got to simplify. You need to shorten your sessions, and you need to create clean success. Confidence returns faster than you think if you stop pressing.
Confidence is a big part of any dog game, whether you're doing obedience or you're doing retriever field work, and it's across all breeds, right? That's me being Captain Obvious. But let's talk about some confidence killers, especially when it comes to retriever training and getting ready for hunt tests and field trials. So confidence killer number one is correcting too late. Think about that for a second. Have you ever done that? I'm sure you have. I do that more times than I really care to admit. But sometimes the issue isn't too much correction. It's the timing of the correction. It's correcting when the dog isn't ready, or let's say he's unsure. The dog is unsure. So if the dog hesitates, then gets it corrected, all you've done is reinforce that uncertainty. So instead, you need to correct clearly when the dog understands why he's being corrected, okay? And if the dog is confused, bring it down. Simplify, okay? And clarity first, correction second. So that distinction is a big one, and it matters. Maybe you should write that down. All right, confidence killer number 2. When you're frustrated, not a good time to be training. And God almighty, I do this almost every time with that little dog of mine that's making noise, and I get incredibly frustrated. But dogs feel your frustration instantly. If you're irritated, they're going to move differently. Your tone changes, your timing gets sloppy, and the dog starts guessing. If you're frustrated, you need to stop immediately, calm yourself down, and then try and simplify. No good training session starts from a bad emotional state. You know, that alone will protect confidence long term. All right, let's talk about confidence killer number 3, comparing your dog to others. I know you've done it. I do it all the time too, but it's not a good thing. Yeah, I called you out. Okay, so this one is huge in amateur hunt tests. If you see a dog that runs faster, handles crisp and sharp, and looks flashier, and suddenly you push your dog beyond the development of your training pace, well, now you've just ruined confidence and it's going to erode. If your dog doesn't need, well, let me put this way, your dog doesn't need to look like the best dog out there when you're running. No. Okay, stop doing that. It needs to look like the best version of itself. That's discipline. Confidence on test day looks like this: calm at the line, a clean send, purposeful movement, minimal hesitation, quick recovery from minor mistakes. Notice what's missing: flash. Confidence is quiet, and judges reward confidence. Once, I had a dog that could absolutely crush big setup training sessions. I've shown videos of that, and there's some great video content about my dog Dusty, who's long passed. But after one tough training session and one tough hunt test that I ran, I started getting frustrated, and I started adding more pressure, more repetitions, and within a couple of weeks, I started to notice a difference in how the dog was looking, especially when I started to send the dog from the line. And that wasn't a marking issue. That was all on M&E. I had to back up, simplify, rebuild clarity. And within a few weeks, confidence started to come back. That story alone adds some emotional weight. Now, let me talk a little bit about what happened to me when I ran my last field trial in September, and then fall sets in, and I don't travel, so I'll stay home. But anyway, last field trial in September, running river, and ran him in the qual. God, he was looking great. In my opinion, he was far ahead of most dogs at that event, right up to the last bird in the water series. That big, long water retrieve gave him fits. It gave a lot of dog fits, and he ended up getting, I think, a reserve jam, something like that. But anyway, because I had to handle him. Then I entered him in the amateur. Figure it's the last trial of the year, so I put him in the amateur. He's first amateur. So the first series is a land triple. Big test. Absolutely loved it. Exactly what you would see in an amateur, right? So, and I figured, well, it's a big test. I don't know. We'll see what he does. So they throw a 400 yard dead duck off to the right, and then they throw off to the left a short retired hen pheasant, and he's never picked up a hen pheasant. In the middle is a flyer, and that hen pheasant and the flyer were fairly close. And I was out shooting the flyers after I ran, and I looked back and I didn't think it was that close, but it was close. So he gets his flyer. Flyer was the last bird and the first bird to get, so that was the go bird. No problem there. Come back, send him for the short retired hen pheasant. He literally jumped over the kid that was laying in a seat with a ghillie blanket over him. He literally jumped over that guy. But he was on the wrong side of the mark. The mark was thrown in the other way, so he ended up hunting deep behind that guy and disappeared. Well, there's a big river back there, and I kind of freaked out because I didn't know what he was going to do. It's a young dog. You never know. So he was gone for, God, it felt like 30 seconds to a minute. And I told the judges, that kid needs to stand up and let's get involved. And it took a while to find him. And by the time I got him back to where I could see him, he was in full panic mode because he didn't know where he was at. He got freaked out big time. So I picked him up, brought him back to the truck, and went out and shot flyers. But the next training session after that, then I noticed that he's starting to pop on memory marks. It didn't matter if it was short retired, long retired. I mean, his confidence was kaput. And I had to build it back. So I had to build a lot more confidence into that dog, and it has taken several months to do so. So I quit doing multiples and went back to just doing singles, or I would do a single and then throw one off the line, go get that, then go back and get the single, and all up guns, nothing retired. And it took a while, but now I'm finally starting to see his confidence return, and he's not popping as much. And I ran him through a couple of drills, and this is going to be a great video coming up here sometime soon on popping. I'm going to have a couple of ideas for you. One of them I learned through the Elite Retrievers and Pat Burns, and a conversation he had with a pro that I know, and his name just popped out of my head, Carl Gunzer. He had some suggestions on one of Pat's podcasts, and I'm going to show you some of that in a future video. Anyway, confidence. Man, it's so important in everything we do with dogs, regardless if we're taking them for walks around the neighborhood, or we're got them in the backyard, or we're trying to run competitive events. It's a big, broad topic, and I'm just barely touching the surface with this video, and it's one of those topics that we're going to come back to over and over again. I've seen talented dogs stall because their handler kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I've seen average dogs thrive because their handlers protected their confidence. That's not talent, that's discipline. If you're an amateur who wants a confident partner, not a pressured one, subscribe. This channel is all about steady progress. And remember, train like an amateur, but think like a pro. Hey everyone, before we sign off for this video, don't forget to check out this one. This is the last video I posted here on the YouTube channel, and it's basically looking at an effective evaluation of your retriever's hunt test performance. I'm going to focus on what aspects of your dog training to refine and what to overlook. It's a great little topic, and if you want to add some context to your retriever training to help you in your retriever hunt test ambitions, take a look at this video.